hello, and happy Saturday. So I will be your storyteller, Michael Diamond. We are back with another episode of Children of the Periphery. And as we are wont to do, because it is, well, live, we want to make sure chat can hear us. And so we'll wait and say hello to them before we get through introductions and then suddenly not have anybody able to hear us. So say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, see?
Hello.
Awesome. Look at you people.
What's up? What's happening?
So we are back with another sci-fi adventure tale in a world we're making sort of as we go. Think of it like a game of Legos that we dump onto the floor and we put together as we choose throughout the series. We're going to be featuring the Cipher system with this in season 3, as we did in season 2. But we are absolutely happy to be here with you today. So I'm going to get out of the way and let Cast introduce themselves. So who do we have with us today?
Hi, this is Morgan, and I'm playing Captain Amara Casra. And our pronouns are she, her, and Amara is a brash explorer who learns quickly and sometimes. And so we're just like the same person.
Fascinating. I can't wait to see your fabulous leather chaps. Next to Amara.
Hi, this is Mav. I play Tamarisk Anvari. Our pronouns are they, them. Tamarisk is an empathic speaker who commands mental powers, and we got in a little danger last time.
There was a slight bit of danger, that's true. But seemingly things have abated for the moment. And last but most certainly not least.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lecco. Today I'll be playing Sergeant Montgomery Donald Ducky Sinclair, a mechanical strong legionnaire specialist who fuses flesh and steel. Outside of Cipher, I run Retro Games Boutique, which is a boutique-style collector business channel focused on buying, selling, and restoring used video games like these back here. Check us out and whatnot.
Awesome. Okay. So we'll pick up essentially where we left off with the story, which is floating outside of a portal station, which has been powered up and prepared to activate. So one of the things, as our audience might see, is we are sans Quinn, our pilot, but that's okay because narratively speaking, he's always with us in spirit, and we hope he's doing well. He'll be back next stream, I'm sure of it. So the crew has to get prepared for something that only a couple of them have done, at least recently. So the ship sits outside the portal station, and the decision has been made that they're going to fully activate the portal. They're going to gather all the telemetry data that's necessary, and they're going to make a jump. So making that jump means, for those veterans of the Third Horizon, that you're going to have to get into these pods. So this portal room, Sergeant, is a little different. You see a relatively advanced piece of machinery that's laid out here. So the room is octagonal in shape. It sits on one section of the ship, say, towards the front and a bit towards where the main ramp is. It's a room you've not been in before. In fact, it's been on lockdown since you've been on the ship. So you're not familiar with the internal workings. There is a centralized hub in which there are 5 beds. 5, they sit in a spoked design, like a wheel. And in the middle of it, there's an armature that comes down towards the center of that spoke and holds what looks like 5 humanoid-sized pods on the ground. And when everybody begins to pile in, the clamshell raises, and these 5 beds and their lids open up. Sort of this armature picks them up and opens it to the rest of the view. And beneath that clamshell, there seems to be what look like beds. It's a little bit like the device you got out of, the pod you got out of when you woke up on the Nadir. But this is far more advanced. It's almost a little futuristic.
Yeah, Rakam, are these things safe?
Safe. Define safe. He appears in purple.
How many times have they been utilized by the crew?
Several. I would say we've done more than 8 jumps.
Oh, I just didn't see any. I didn't see anything in the use logs regarding these devices, this room.
Oh, yes, Sergeant. The use and logging of the portal jumps are considered classified.
By whom?
By the ship's captain.
Oh, I see.
So this might help a little bit. From in the third horizon, navigational data especially is currency. And so if someone were to have logs of who went where, when they went where, it's possible that they could be utilized for nefarious purposes to track a ship and who was on it and who went and where they went. So as a merchant vessel, you can feel the strain in his voice when he says that. The Periphery keeps its logs private.
Gotcha. I was just curious because, if one breaks, who's going to fix it?
Oh, we just have to hope they don't.
Oh, hope. That, what's the technical term for hope?
Well, I think that it's always important to engage in a little bit of, boosting your own self-confidence. You have to have faith. That's not a technical term, as I don't believe in gods.
So you're asking me to believe in something that you don't.
Well, sure. It's easy.
I didn't know that AI came with internal contradictions like that. That's interesting.
Well, you spend enough time around the military folk, you learn all sorts of new stuff.
Well, captain's orders.
Mm-hmm.
I put my stuff in whatever locker is there and
There's
trip down to my skibbies.
Yeah, there's a jumpsuit you can wear if you want. It's very thin material. It looks like it's made out of something to maybe trap in heat.
Sure. I don't really have an SOP for these things, so I'm just kind of winging it.
I'm sure that you figure maybe the captain could probably give you an idea of what happens.
Is the captain present?
Well, yeah, all of them are present. They're likely getting into their space pajamas as well.
So, Captain, anything I should know about pod living?
No, just you're gonna go to sleep. You're gonna wake up. I wouldn't eat too much before we go into stasis. Yeah. Yeah, she's getting on her regulatory, tank top and her shorts that Icarus had gotten her that says captain on the back. They're pink.
Do you have a contingency plan for if one of these things goes awry, or if the pods fail, or if this room something happens to it?
Hey, Rakam.
Yes, Captain.
That's my contingency plan.
But he requires power.
So we're not shutting down the ship to jump.
Well, no, I understand that. But if Rakam fails, what's your contingency plan?
We don't have one. We die. It's all in the, There's probably if I remember correctly, and what Fida told me is that there's some emergency backup in the case of something happening detrimental to the ship, that it would trigger our pods to open even early while we were in flight through the portal, which is really, really dangerous. But
You
It
think
had,
that's how it would go?
it has happened before, just once.
yes. Yeah.
In case of a power failure, Sergeant, the Periphery would deploy a length of solar sail, and it would collect as much solar energy as it could, and then it would power back up and likely attempt to return to the nadir.
Well, great. Let's hope that we don't stop inside a nebula or any other light obstructing object in space, of which there are none. I climb
I
down
show
the pod.
him inside the stasis pod. That do you see that red button right there? In case you wake up and you can't get out of the stasis pod, you can hit that button.
Well, I'm not worried about being trapped in the pod.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the least of my concerns. I'm not really worried about this as much as I just kind of want to understand what our protocols are should things go awry.
And yep. So Rakam gave you some protocols. I gave you a protocol, and
Hope
yeah,
and
I've
pray.
done this hundreds of times.
I'm sure you have.
Hundreds.
I'm looking forward to
Rakam.
my next 199 of them.
We look forward to it as well. We can't go anywhere unless you all get in.
Yeah, I'm already climbing in.
Yeah, sling in, throw my legs in.
Same.
Just brisk.
You all climb in, and after climbing in, something equally interesting happens. There is a series of beeps, and then the slow descending armature, which brings the clamshell shut. It's always an interesting feeling getting sealed into a portal pod. You can see through the screen because there's a screen that allows air in and out, and over it, a piece of protective glass seals in place. Com looks down into each of your pods as he's sort of making whatever final adjustments. The jump shouldn't last more than 5 seconds. Okay. You'll get flash frozen. On the other side, things will be a little bit wobbly. Just do your best. He affectionately pats the pod the sergeant's in. Okay. I'll be right here because, unlike you, I don't have to go anywhere. You feel the ship move while you're inside the pod. This is a strange feeling. You can feel an almost autopilot nature, third person. Imagine, I think the best way to imagine you're playing a video game that you're on a auto walk course for, and you sort of feel a little bit out of body as the ship tilts and moves.
No, it's like a roller coaster.
It is, in fact, like a roller coaster. Yep. That roller coaster and the dip that comes as the ship powers up grabs your stomach. There is a immediate and, I wouldn't say violent, but I would say energetic spray of freezing material that covers your body. And your perceptions get locked into place. And all you feel for a second is your heartbeat. And then you don't feel that at all. For an indeterminable amount of time, you stare either at the pod window or wherever your eyes were last. And then there's a surge that goes through the ship, which you only half feel. And then it's over. Your next perception is being sprayed down with some type of dry material as the clamshell raises up, and you can feel the standard temperature air that's in the cabin here. You hear Rakam's voice say to the the group view. Okay, completed the jump in 4.5 seconds. It's pretty standard. Get your bearings. Don't try to move too fast. I'll be on the bridge trying to get some sensor data about where we're at. When you're ready, meet me there.
Oh, how I have missed this.
So
You right there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Do your thing.
You right there, Sergeant?
Sure thing, Captain. All systems are go. I hop out of the bed and fall down. And then get back up. Legs.
Yeah, falling out is probably pretty apt.
Yeah.
If you try to get up too quick, you realize that your legs don't function. The worst part too is that the machine parts of you seem to be in a cool down phase, so you don't have grip like over your hand. You can feel like your shoulder doesn't want to move. You get a bunch of error messages internally.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to manage that a bit better next time. I'll be in the shop. I will put my hand on a wall and just follow it toward the where were we doing most of it? It wasn't the engine room. Where was where my workshop was?
Engine room.
Yeah, the engine room. I head that way. Kind of opening, closing my hands and twitching one shoulder to another, since like one's organic and one isn't, and kind of hunchbacking my way down the hall, like dragging my dead metal arm and trying to carry myself with my kind of flaccid organic one.
So speaking of your flaccid organs, I'll ask you to make a difficulty 3 might challenge. This is your first time going through this. You're considered hindered for this challenge.
Okay.
It's a lot to adjust to.
All right. So I do have a strength power shift. All non-attack tasks involving strength are eased by 1 step.
Okay, so it makes it a flat 3 then.
So 15.
Okay. It is really difficult to adjust to at first. Really difficult. You manage to find your way to the opening of the engine bay, or the opening of the engine room, but only because you've been using the walls as a balance point. For our third horizoners, you just do the smart thing and you give it a couple of minutes and you slowly begin to get your balance and your form back.
Yeah, I stretch my legs out and heave them over the stasis. I had learned previously that just jumping right out of the pod doesn't fare well.
Yep,
So
that's true.
watching Ducky do it gave me a little happiness in my inside, because it wasn't just me that has done it. But I get up, I throw on one of the robes that are probably hanging there
Mhm.
in thin fabric, and I head up to the bridge.
Okay. You head up to the bridge.
I go get dressed and then I head up to the bridge.
Certainly.
I have an image to maintain.
That is also very true. You have a lot of fancy clothes to put on, so you might as well put them on. So Captain, you and Rakam are staring at something, not in disbelief per se, but in pleasant surprise. Inside the bridge on the view screen, you see something that looks like a planet. It's got water and seemingly green and blue bands all over it. There's a couple of moons here. And you're not terribly far off. You're close enough that you can make out some of the colors of this marble. Rakam is looking at one of the displays, and he says, "It looks like the portal station here took a little while for us to get connected, but if we're going to use it to go back, we'll probably want to stop in and see if it's in proper working order."
Yeah, that makes sense. Can I make a scan of the planet? Or has Rakam already done that?
Now, we're a little far off to actually get sensors on it properly, so we'll have to wait until we fly closer. But feel free.
Nope, I'll wait till we're closer.
I know we're always in a bit of a hurry, but I think it's not even there, so I guess I can't really say anything.
You get no, but importantly enough, Sergeant, you can get to the engine room. Your habitat, for lack of a better term.
Oh, well then, yeah. Then I will review my technical manuals for maintenance and look for the section I haven't really dug into, marked exposure to extreme frigging cold.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
didn't expect to be frozen anytime.
Yeah, there's a specific reboot process that you'll need to go through. It might mean, a 5-minute cycle being without the use of your arm.
Yeah,
but
that's fine. I go get my lubricant and make sure everything's running. I get my, temperature shielding and protectant and everything else.
Mhm.
Just kind of mumble to myself as I rip things open.
There's no actual roll for it, really. It's just time spent.
Mhm.
So you take apart what you need to and prepare the arm.
How does recovery work specifically? Is it recounting the stuff we did last session is like that's all happened already?
Yeah. So technically speaking, because you haven't had a night's rest, you don't get if you used a immediate recovery in Cypher and you've used your next recovery, you only have a couple left, which I think is the 10-hour one, the long one. And
the
then
1 hour and the 10 hour left.
Yeah, 1 hour and 10 hours. So those are the two you have available to you.
All right, I'll wait. So once I get situated, I'll come back to the bridge.
Yeah. Once assembled on the bridge, you are in what appears to be a completely separate section of space.
So are we?
I don't know. Rakam, any of the surrounding stars or moons look familiar based on any other maps that we've seen?
No, nothing. Maybe some of the stuff that Tamarisk and I downloaded might be useful. We'd have to dig into that data bank, though. It's here on the ship. We just have to sift through it.
Yeah, is Tamarisk up on the bridge yet?
After they're prepared completely, yes.
Yeah, when you and Tamarisk give a chance for Rakam, can you start doing that, please?
Yes, Captain.
I even added a please.
Character growth.
I know, right? Let's mark that down. Time and date, please.
Yeah, I used please.
Ducky, you get to the bridge.
Oh, hey, look, a planet. That looks wet.
Yes, quite convenient.
It's a planet. We were not close enough to do any scans yet to check for life forms, building structures, anything else, air quality, so on and so forth. So, Rakam, what's the estimate date and time? What's the estimate time to getting into sensor range?
Within the hour.
Okay, thank you.
Can I see the portal station that we came out of? Where we are?
Yeah, you can certainly put a camera on it. Yeah, it looks almost identical to the one you left.
This our exit?
It is. We're going to have to jump on the station before we go and take a look around. Make sure everything is in working order.
Then after we have a look at the planet,
Yes.
so we're not heading back just yet.
No, we need to make sure that our luck that the first planet we happen upon is suitable for life for people without any other cultures to if it's the first planet, I want to go gamble somewhere.
Hey, come on, Captain. If you ask Rakam, hope is the fuel that keeps this place running.
Yeah. Sometimes all you have is hope.
I will get my arm around a little bit more and get the servos warmed.
You can feel it firing back and forth finally correctly.
So,
You want to start looking at some of that map data while we're approaching the planet?
Absolutely.
Might as well.
So sifting through that data for you, Tamarisk, is going to be a, we'll say, difficulty 5 challenge, especially if you're looking for this specific planet. You can certainly use Rakam as either an asset or an ally in the task, depending on how you want to do that, and then any other benefits you'd like to bring to bear.
Okay. So, let's see. I can apply a level of effort.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes it down to 3.
Yep. This would be an intellect-based effort, so...
Okay. I've got 2 edge in that.
So it costs you 1 point.
Yep.
Nice.
So, yes. We like having the edge. All right. So I need 6 or better? No. I'm mathing wrong.
No. So if you've bid it down twice, that is a 3, so 9 or better.
3, 9 or better. 15.
Oh, excellent. So it actually doesn't take you terribly long, you and Rakam, to find a planet marked as Plit, P-L-I-T. It is listed as a mostly rocky planet. It's beige with bands of vibrant blue, copper, and azure. It's the systematically generated image that you get from it. It looks like it's about, we'll say, roughly Earth size, although Earth wouldn't really have a ton of credit to you or reference to you, but that's what I'll give you based on the audience. It is a little heavier than Earth's gravity, so standard gravity 1G, a little heavier than that. Average surface temperature is 55-ish or so Fahrenheit. There is roughly estimated about 30% surface water, so there's way more land there than there would be on our Earth. It does list that it is suitable for oxygen-based life. It doesn't say human.
I'll relay that information to the captain as I'm sifting through things. So it's got some possibilities, Cap.
Good. That's good. Rakam, can we make a long range sensor roll or whatever we have for sensors to see if there's any ships in the other area? Because should have done that when we came out of the portal and did not.
So, Captain, if you'd like to use the sensors to look for other vessels, they are at your command.
I will do that.
Okay. So yeah, just go ahead and give me a roll. I won't give you a difficulty number on this because it's going to be based off of how well you roll.
It's fine. I got a 19.
That is pretty good. So that is a minor effect. I will say that you are, without question, certain that there are no other vessels in the area.
It's been so long since I've jumped. I'm just talking to myself at the screen while I'm doing censoring. It's like doing adulting, but I'm doing censoring.
Mhm.
That I, sometimes forget my own protocols.
You are the one that sets the protocols. So
if we're planning on visiting the planet, is there a shuttle? Or we're planning on landing this
Don't
debris
need a
on the
shuttle.
planet,
We
right?
can land the ship.
Really? Okay.
mhm.
Yes.
We are the shuttle. Is that what you'd like, Captain? Like to make your way to the planet?
Oh no, that's not up to me. Oh, you're talking about Captain.
I am
Never mind.
I look over at Ducky like,
I didn't hear him say Captain at the end. My bad.
I mean, eventually after we can scan the planet, I'd like to land the ship and take a look around.
Sure. So after a little bit of travel, because the data collection with Tamris takes a little bit, you get within sensor range, start to see some of the controls at your captain's chair come back online for rudimentary sensor tasks.
Yeah, so I will start poking around at, I used to be a pilot back in the day.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, give me a roll.
I got a 10, but I'd like to push it. I'd like to use an XP to re-roll it.
I was like, there's no pushing here. Wrong.
No.
Not allowed to.
Can I spend luck? I'm
Nope.
going to spend an XP to...
Okay. You spend the next fee, you may re-roll.
Yep. You got a 4. Fuck it. We don't see anything on the planet.
No. You see lots of things on the planet, but you don't see anything that really grabs your eye. Maybe it's the sensor range. Maybe it's the jump. It's really rocky there, given the fact that just by example, there is a third of the water that there would be on Earth. So if you imagine that, there is water here, but it's a lot of this place is taken up by mountainous and hilly terrain.
Captain.
Sergeant.
So you probably got your own way of doing this. I'm just kind of curious as to what our groundfall protocols are going to look like.
Groundfall protocols involve utilizing one of the suits until we can correctly ascertain the level of oxygen and whatnot available for us to breathe. Weapons should also be brought. We don't go in there with the thought of harming any of the life that is currently there, but it is used for defense if necessary. We try to interrupt, try to disturb as little of the current natural world as possible when taking a look at the planet.
Bide is not here, so who's our designated gets eaten by hostile life forms target?
Gonna be Ducky.
Valid.
I mean, we'll see. We'll find out.
Welcome, newbie. Okay.
Do we have an extraction plan?
It is to run. No, I'm sure Rakam can probably help meet us somewhere if we need to. Isn't that right, Rakam?
Certainly, I am capable of flying the vessel if necessary.
Can we get a terrain map?
Sure. Where?
Wherever the captain would like us to land.
Yeah, let's find the safest, flattest ground possible, Rakam, and land there, if possible.
Rakam sort of smirks. Define safe.
I said safest.
Right. So if you would, define safe. Are you just going to leave that up to my judgment?
Yes.
Okay. The ship starts moving. It breaks the upper atmosphere without question. You can feel the pressure against the hull when it does. And it flows into the atmosphere as the pressure releases, and you see frankly, a gorgeous looking planet below. Very mountainous. There does seem to be some type of avians that fly in the sky here. They're small ones, pass down through. You get into a valley, one of many, and there are some trees here, or what look like trees, from sparse green patches, and you find a nice flat spot. And Rakam begins to settle the ship down. You hear the landing gear come out, and you start getting a topographical readout of a 5-mile radius.
Once we begin our descent, I am going to try to once again pull up the details from the surface. And if I could, I'm going to suggest a place that provides nearby vertical cover from the airborne life forms, to which we don't know how hungry and or predatory they might be.
Okay.
Something basically that would give us, since it's mostly rocky terrain, I'm basically looking for a nearby outcropping that we can not necessarily park the ship under, but that we can deploy to as kind of a forward position.
Okay.
If you find that suitable, Captain.
That's fine. That's what you're here for. I start to go collect some vials and whatnot that were given to us by good old General. What's his goof? I can't.
You hate the man and you don't remember his
Okay.
name.
I know, that's fine. What's his name? What is
Major
his
General
name?
Garrison is his name.
Garrison. Yes, it's in my notes, but I wasn't looking at them.
Unconsciously.
Mm-hmm. He's not here. And I go get some vials and a sling over pack to be able to carry them in, because we're going to want to test the water and the soil. And right now, our resident scientist is non-existent, with the exception of maybe Tamara's can help me. And so, yes, and I'll grab a weapon. I'll get into one of the biosuits.
Okay. You get yourself prepared.
We're the same.
Okay. Once everyone is prepared, which may take longer than others, you let me know when you're going to deploy to the surface.
Are you ready, Sergeant?
Ready as will be, Captain. Do we have, so as far as equipment on board, I don't know specifically what sort of, like I don't have like motion detectors or anything like that. Does the ship have any of those for field work? Like any sort of portable motion detector or anything of that in that sense?
It probably does. It probably does have something like that.
Okay.
I'm just thinking back to the Third Horizon sort of equipment list, and there were definitely objects like that. And I'm sure FIDA probably had a couple of, whether they be drones or scouting technology. There might be something stowed away back there.
Yeah, I rummage through things and try to find pieces that might be useful for field work. Obviously, like I'm ready to deploy as a commando, but I wasn't necessarily prepared to deploy as a scout. So if I'm going to be at any sort of forward position, I want to be able to get an idea as to what's going on. And with all of these walls and rocks to bounce signals off of, it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of what I would consider like blind lines of sight. So I'd much rather have something like sonar or radar or something that can bounce around inside these channels or trenches that we're going to be dealing with.
It makes sense to me. Okay.
or
You
sound, what have you.
grab a couple of pieces of equipment that you think you could probably utilize after just some
This looks
minor
cool.
field testing.
I pointed at things. And make sure it works. I wave it around and make sure it's magical. Wait, what?
Yes. Yes. You wave it around and suddenly it's magical. Exiting out onto the surface is an exercise in discovery. I think that's the best way to say it. The gravity here is significantly different from what you are used to experiencing. Maybe the initial sensor read wasn't completely accurate, or maybe the log of this planet for Plit is old, Tamarisk, but it's not as heavy as some of the sensor readings you're getting, but you feel heavier. So to give you an example, on this planet, you are about 30% heavier than you normally would be. And so the drag on your body, because you're not prepared for that, is considerable. So what it will mean is that all of you are hindered on might tests while on the planet.
Not that necessarily matters, but for flavor, I am going to kneel when I get out of the ship and recalibrate my compensators to make sure that I don't feel different, but I can feel normal.
Yeah, makes
I'm
sense.
assuming like the might easing will level it out, right? So that's just kind of the
Yeah, it
So
does. It takes a little while to compensate for it, and you realize that your technology, your adaptations and wear is basically at the maximum that it can adapt for. If you encounter gravitic forces that are heavier than this, you won't be able to compensate for them.
It's like, well, I'll put on a little weight here.
Yeah, that might be a problem. Rakam, can you hear me?
I have you.
Okay, let's keep the line of communication open, and if you can keep a lock on our life signs, that would be great too.
Sure.
Thank you.
The suits should also be chiming in, but I'm happy to point the sensors your way if that's what you'd like.
So you know where we are. Yes, but just in case something happens to the suits.
I am picking up a couple of holes, whether they're caves or whether they're perhaps geothermal pits, I'm not sure. But about a click or so north of you, there does seem to be some portion of this landscape that gives way to aberrations within the geography.
It could be pits or caves.
Yes. So yeah, let's head that way. Because nothing ever bad happened when it says there's a couple of holes, some clicks ahead of us.
Do we have a read on what are these rocky formations made of? Can we tell?
The formations are made of some type of stone.
Okay.
You're not really
Like
sure the
Ducky is
consistency of it.
curious. Yeah, Ducky is
Yeah.
curious. He doesn't have like a mineral sample or anything, but he will definitely go up to one of the stone formations and like touch it.
You touch one of the storm formations and it feels a whole lot like dense granite. It gets that sort of resistance.
So it's like porous.
Yeah, a little bit.
Interesting. I wonder how these were formed. Does it look like they were water cut, or does it look like the water? Does it look like the water comes from the sky, or does it look like these are maybe formerly submerged? Like, are they smooth at all, or are they more like coral?
These look like they were probably once submerged.
Is there any indication of salt in their formation? Like, is there white dust on everything?
No.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I just kind of rub it between my fingers and let the sand play between the gloves and kick on whatever these motion detectors do. See if anything's moving in front. Captain, permission to take point.
Absolutely. I'll stay behind.
Okay, I steady my rifle at my side. I don't level it, and I use whatever these sensors do to give me an idea as to what's ahead of us and what
What's
behind us and what above us.
right? So the area itself does seem to be as flat as the ship could reasonably find. It also boasts a lot of wide open views. So there aren't a lot of large obstructions nearby. There are some hills and mountains that roll north, west, and east of this location. Looks like most of the area to the south is wide open and trails downward, sloping for probably 5 or 6 miles until it reaches what looks like a riverbed. Although it's relatively low yield, it doesn't look like it's very deep. And then again, to the north, there are maybe a series of caves, and there are also holes in the ground.
Hey, Rakam, trivia question.
Yes.
What would the short and or long-term effects be of human life forms inhabiting a planet with 30% denser, heavier gravity?
Well, most people, most humans would be reasonably fine for the first generation or so. But after a while, your bones would need structure, would need to harden. The gravity press would make you denser, and any offspring born on the planet would likely be shorter than their parents.
One would assume a heavier cardiovascular strain, pulmonary effects, blood pressure, that kind of stuff,
Certainly.
back pain.
Yes.
Right.
It's also why you'll probably need to be careful about any deep and long-term physical exertion. You're not made for this planet.
Oh yeah, lung capacity, that's gonna be a problem. I take a deep breath inside the suit.
It's hard.
Oh shit. So as we're walking, I will just kind of use, I guess, with the captain. Captain, I don't know how much time you spent packing, basically having to carry, I would say, heavier loads out in the field. But there's a fun facet of psychology that tends to play in when you're carrying heavy loads for a long amount of time. Um, it literally drags you around on the ground and does its best to kind of crush your spirits and disrupt your sleep and do that other fun stuff. Um, consider like a gravitational anxiety.
Yeah, I didn't spend much time packing anywhere. Sergeant, I spent a lot of time in ships, flying, and I grew up on an asteroid belt, so
Oh, how was that?
uh, wildly exciting, as you would expect. So are we saying that this planet is probably not suitable for your people?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I wouldn't. My people. Wait, what about your people? Who are your people?
I mean, it is your people that we are rehoming. I mean, we're all one people. I don't mean it like that, Sergeant. We're all in this together.
Are you human, Captain? Is there something I need to know?
We're all in this together. I
That's
mean,
not
the
an
people
answer.
from the first horizon.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just it's not. It's not that I don't think it's uninhabitable. I just, I was just kind of curious as to. It would definitely limit the age brackets, or you could say health status of the people that could live here and prove able to move. I don't. What do we have for? I don't even know, like, technologically, what will we even be able to do to compensate for gravity like this? Like, do we have? Is anti-gravity technology even a thing?
Not for your horizon folks.
Sure.
Folks in the
So,
first
like,
horizon don't have any.
they would need like power assist. They would all need like power assistance and compensators, and it would be very expensive for people to move around and do labor here.
Yeah, the Legionnaires would be fine. They would be able to get through powered suits, but
Yeah.
there aren't enough power suits to power an entire colony of
For
Legionnaires.
civilians, hell no.
No.
Interesting. So Even the loaders would have a hard time here because they're calibrated for artificial gravity or Earth gravity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do remember that there are 2 moons that orbit this planet.
Mhm.
And if you're speaking just as a resource hunter, the thing to figure out is the water here viable? Can it be drank? And the plant life that is here is there, while there might not be as much arable land on a planet like this, is there sustainable plant life and vegetation where you could grow food here if you needed to? Because if you're only talking about working in like robotic work cycles, potentially, you could use the planet as a resource mine, and then try to habitate maybe somewhere else.
Sure. Well, the other thing is with enhanced gravity, like I don't know much about the I guess the more settler levels parts of colonization, but logistics would be an absolute pain in the ass with 30% more grav if you're trying to haul anything out of here or land anything here.
Yeah.
It's heavy, it's harder to land, it's harder to take off, everything just weighs more. It's not very fuel efficient at all. I'm using about these things kind of to myself as we continue walking.
I think
So
these are all valid. These are all valid questions and issues. I think we just want to take note of all of this and bring back our findings to the committee.
Sure. I'm not saying we should leave.
So, why don't you all give me a perception-based roll? We'll say that is visual.
Is that intellect?
Yes. Intellect.
Yeah, 18.
Nice.
We also have an 18.
I'm in the back, so I got a 10.
So up ahead, where you're coming up towards these hills and against these caves, there is a series of 4 or 5 holes that exist in the rocky ground here. And out of one of them appears a large lizard. It's definitely reptilian. It has multiple appendages, and it has a head that is sort of spiked. It comes out, it's about the size of the hole, and it like looks around. I would say the head width is probably about half a meter or so.
Were we near a wall or were we out in the open?
You're out in the open right now.
Okay. It's the nearest point of cover kind of behind us and to either the left or the right, like to our flank.
You could probably find some cover against some of the rock facing that is to your right. You stepped back.
I will kind of quietly give the captain a nod and a nudge and start shuffling in that direction while keeping my eyes on that thing. Now that we have eyes on it, my concern is there another one somewhere? Like, are these things solitary or do they travel in groups?
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Oh, I looked towards the area that Ducky's looking at. So do I now see the lizard poking his head out of the hole?
Mm-hmm. And Tamara can see it too.
That's a contact too.
Yeah, I follow Ducky's lead. I'm not in the military, so while I know how to fight, I don't.
Got local wildlife. It's reptilian.
We don't know that it's wildlife. Could be a sentient species.
Sure.
You see another one, and another one.
It has friends.
And another one. The first one is about halfway, you think, out of the hole. Its body is long and noodle-like. It is supported by short, stubby appendages that don't seem to be as helpful as they should be walking. And so when this thing When this thing gets out onto the ground fully, it sort of looks like a lizard version of a wiener dog that's too long. It looks a little ridiculous.
I tap my camera feed.
It wobbles.
Is it walking in
Coming
a
in our
timely
direction?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tamers.
Is it walking in any sort of specific directions? Yeah, it looks like it's walking down towards, well, in your direction.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like it's seen anyone yet. They form a group. These 4 or 5 so. They form this almost school-like group, and they wobble on down towards the water. They're not passing you yet, but you will get a excellent view of them. What I want to know, and of course we'll have a chance to talk about this when we get back from break. What I want to know is the group going to engage them, or are they going to try to stay a little covert and perhaps observe? So we are going to take our first break. We want to thank everybody for sticking with us. And so we'll be back in just a few minutes with more Children of the Periphery. See you soon. Alrighty. Welcome back to Children of the Periphery. We have landed on a rocky planet. Its gravity is, we'll just say, intense. It would create a lot of gym bros in that sense, but that's not what we're doing today. We'll leave the bros until maybe summer, when they're hotter. Anyway, we have been investigating a planet, and the group has just seen that there are some rather strange and wobbly looking lizards making their way down past them. And so I'll ask them whether or not they're going to become covert, or if they're going to attempt to observe openly.
I would like
What do
to
you think,
observe.
Captain?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tamers.
Oh, what do you think? Maybe observe for a little bit before making ourselves known.
We should not engage. Let's observe and see how they act. They're sentient or not. I mean, they're sentient, obviously. I mean, they're living beings that seem intelligent in their own right, but yes.
Once I'm confident that we're pretty much out of their line of sight, I will hunker down a bit and see if we can stay in the dark.
Oh, well, you're all going to have a speed defense challenge, because you're going to have to actually hide.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll see you. So normally, this wouldn't be too difficult, but because there are so many of them, that creates a larger issue when it comes to their ability to perceive a space.
Great.
It's not my best. 8.
Okay.
We're not doing initiative, right? Just speed defense, right?
Yeah, just speed
Okay.
defense. Right? You're not doing initiative.
I was going to say I'd use danger sense then. Danger sense. I got a 9.
Okay.
Looks
Sergeant?
like he's got a 16.
Okay.
Not that it matters. You can only be as quiet as the loudest person in the group.
That is very true. So you sort of move back. Sergeant, you don't really move much. You just sort of lean into the rock face. You sort of become one with the rock. The captain kneels down behind you, and Tamarisk, you try to scoot a little bit further beyond the rock face. And when you do, part of this rock, we'll say, it's not really an obelisk, but it's sort of in that shape. It crumbles a little bit when you grab onto it, and some of the stones kick around at your feet. And when they do, one of these lizard-like heads turns towards this angle in the group, and then another one, and another one, and another one, and they stop. And you see their eyes, a little milky, shift back and forth. Their heads shift back and forth. Big nostrils flare. Their
Have you seen
bodies get rigid.
Have you seen their mouths yet?
Yeah. Yeah, you can see their mouths. I would say that's more of like an iguana-like mouth.
Oh,
And,
great.
and, and
So
it's-
they're sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Those are for tearing. Probably fish.
Cameras, go do your thing.
Okay. So are they close enough to be in communication distance? Like how far away are they?
and I would say that for you, they're probably about maybe 30 to 40 feet. You could talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be in proper diplomatic
Mm-hmm.
range. It would be uncouth to speak to someone 30 feet away.
This far away.
Yes, no. You could do it, but you would be socially hindered. I would make sure of it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm sure you would. So I'll just adjust my posture and step out and move closer and start talking once I'm closer.
Okay.
Captain, is this normal?
What?
Bring Tamarisk? They're just going out there.
Well, let's cover them while they're going out there. But Tamarisk is very, very versed in all things diplomatic.
Yeah, until they get eaten. Again.
We're not going to let them get eaten.
Without raising my gun, I guess.
Okay. You back the play of your fellow crewmate.
Uh-huh. I maintain line of sight. And I immediately try to identify multiple places of potential extraction and egress from this horrible location.
Yes. Yes, the panic soldier brain is on full alarm, I'm sure. Okay. So Tamarisk, you step out towards them. Probably as you get closer to what was socially acceptable distance to talk to another entity, another life form. Their mouths sort of click when they open, and you hear a series of clicks as they sort of tap their mouths open and shut. Their bodies are still very rigid, and they are turning as a collective to point at you.
So I will start talking, offering greetings, and just we're visitors here. We mean you no harm. My name is Tamarisk, and just start up that flow of speaking to see if they respond in any way that could sound like a language.
Okay. So if the goal is to communicate with them,
Mm-hmm.
then is there anything that you're going to be able to bring to the table ability wise that will assist you with your communication?
I am specialized in all tasks involving social interaction, pleasant or otherwise.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say to interact in a pleasant manner with a species that probably doesn't understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But to pick up on the body language that you're offering, and a species which also doesn't read human body language likely on a regular basis. I'm going to say it's a pretty tough task. So I'm going to start at 5. And I think that in normal circumstances, you would be certainly trained to discuss things in a pleasant fashion. I think the difficulty here is that they don't pick up on those same sort of cues.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll go ahead and just roll that into the difficulty.
Okay.
The
I'm
goal.
going to spend an XP to reroll that 11. If that's okay.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so I will reroll that. That's better. That's an 18.
Okay. They stare at you. They don't move. But they also don't surge forward. Their mouths don't come open. They just stare at you. They don't look like they're making any threatening movements.
Okay. But they don't seem to try to communicate or in any way.
No, they click.
No.
Can I ask a question about their demeanor in general? Like once Tamara starts talking, do I see ears or ear holes on these things? Like, are they listening? Do they seem to be at all cueing into the fact that this thing is making noise at them?
Yeah,
Like,
they don't seem to have ear holes.
Okay. And now that there is noise, like I haven't really, other than us walking, I haven't really paid attention to how noise travels through the air here, and given the terrain.
Mm-hmm.
How bad is the echo? Like, how far is Tamara's voice traveling?
Quite a bit.
So I'm going to do my best to kind of widen my peripheral vision a bit, because if these things picked us up at 30 feet without making noise and now we're talking, I'm not sure how many more are in those holes that might come crawling out. So I'm going to kind of shuffle a bit more to try to get a wider view of what's happening, to see if any more of these things intend on joining because of the audience.
You widen your periphery, or your peripheral vision, I should say. Yeah, Tamara, stay roughly where they're at. I am going to ask you to make an intellect defense roll.
Okay. Is it specifically attacking my mind in any way? Because I have a thing with that.
Is it attacking your mind? I think that I'll say this. The intention is not hostile.
Okay.
But your mind may treat it as if it is, because it's unfamiliar.
I have an inability on that.
Okay. Well,
because I am too receptive to thoughts and moods. Okay. Well, that's a 5, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. You get the feeling that they're hungry. It isn't formed thought. It isn't refined. It's very basic. It's very base feelings.
Okay, so they're hungry. So I will, I think, back up very slowly and keep talking neutrally just to keep the mood calm. Back up to where the captain and Ducky can hear me as I keep saying, because it doesn't seem like the creatures understand what I'm saying. They appear to be hungry. I think maybe we arrived at lunchtime, but they also have some minor mood broadcasting abilities, but they don't seem to be creating coherent thought. I'm just keeping my tone very neutral, very calm as I'm conveying this information.
I will very calmly, like with my shoulder that's pointed away from them, that my gun is my hand is resting on like my rifle. I'm going to move my hand away from my rifle and like slowly reach back into my supply pack.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull out a ration bar.
Oh, really?
And I'm gonna slide it over. I'm just gonna kind of ease it over to Tamarisk.
Okay. Fun times. Do you
Just
take it?
just in case
Mhm.
we need to throw this. Treat it like a grenade.
Fetch. I'll take it, but I'm a little bit confused
When
because we've
you,
got
yeah,
five hungry lizard monsters over here.
you take hold of it and they look like their eyes flick back and forth. Watch their head begin moving very rapidly.
I think maybe we should disengage from the situation and head out.
That sounds reasonable. Do you want to toss?
Just move it over right there. Back away from it slowly.
Is that what you're saying?
Okay, whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
put it down. Back.
Well, I think while throwing it could be a hostile action, so I don't want to piss
Yes,
them off.
that's what I'm thinking precisely, because they might think you're throwing something at them.
Um,
So
Let me throw it the other way so they run that way.
well, we have a path to back out, so
Mhm.
I think
So
we
we
can
should
just
back out
You can back out.
carefully, slowly, non-hostilely. Ducky.
yeah. That pulled as a bar.
Okay. So you drop the bar. As soon as the food drops on the ground, they seize on it. One after another, they sort of almost like eels. So that's a great way to explain this. Almost like eels in the water, they swim over one another trying to get to it. And they snatch it from each other and they chew on it and they bite it into like 5 different pieces. It's a sight. Is the crew deciding to then vacate the premises?
Yes,
Okay.
we're vacating to a different location.
Where would you go?
So was this, just to clarify, this location, was it a click north of the ship?
Yeah, the caves are about a click. This is about half that distance. So your only egress spot if you're going to go anywhere is either back to the ship, or you could do a complete end around them, and you could go to the caves. You have essentially stalled them.
They were heading toward the water. I'm guessing they were heading toward the water to eat. So we should go the other way, whatever that is.
That would definitely be towards the caves.
Towards the caves they came out of.
No. Caves that were beyond the holes.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, we would basically have to. So if we don't go to the caves and we don't go to the beach, then we basically are leaving. We're trying to
Correct.
find another landing zone. Okay.
Or find somewhere else to land. But yes, let's go up and around to avoid the creatures and their habitat and make our way to those caves.
Okay. You make your way to the caves. So the caves themselves, at least the cave opening that you come to, is one of several. It's probably 4 or 5 in a line of caves. They vary in space as far as openings go. So some of the openings are maybe no bigger than a person, and some of them are wider than, 4 or 5 people abreast.
We're spoiled for choice.
I guess I'll look for signs of life. Droppings, scratches, bodies.
Yeah. Droppings, yes. There's actually quite a few pieces of what look like somewhat older scat that's here, and each piece is probably slightly larger than your thumb, Sergeant.
Probably some small creatures here. Maybe, I don't know, Cocker Spaniel sized. Is this at the like at the first cave, or is this kind of at all of them?
No, this is
Like
at the first cave.
Okay.
Probably this is the first cave. Its entrance is about man-sized.
We'd have to travel single file through this one.
Oh, I thought this one was that another one that you could do more than one abreast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Let's take a look at this one first. Just keep an eye out for any creatures that seem not docile. Turn your lights on.
Okay.
Hey,
You turn your lights on.
Hey, Rakam, you still got us okay?
Yeah, a little bit. Are you? Oh, it looks like you're getting near those caves. There's probably a little bit of interference we're starting to get now. So just check in with me as you go to make sure that you don't blink out.
Yeah, well, we might lose you if we get too deep into the cave, depending on what the material the rock is made of. But yep, we'll keep in contact or try to.
Was the ship able to keep any eyes on that location, or any sort of? Is there any sort of are the ship's sensors powerful enough to get a read on the location we were in that kind of little, I guess, valley or whatever where those creatures were that goes down to the water?
Yeah, I'm still tracking them now. They're making their way into the water. And it looks like the water's not much deeper than they are. There appear to be maybe some aquatic life they're feeding on in that.
That's good to hear. All right, stuff in the water. This place is teeming with life, but not plants,
Not
Right.
as much plants, no.
which means they probably just eat each other.
No, let's not assume that yet. But yeah, I'm not super excited about what I'm seeing on this planet in it as a way for the resettlement of
What's wrong
our
with
people.
empathic, hungry space lizards? They're cool.
I'm sure any planet they settle on will have some sort of life form, but we want to make sure that it's appropriate for a growing settlement and people,
So not person eating.
not person eating. That would be wonderful.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Check.
In we go.
Check.
In you go.
Yep.
It is-
I'll follow up the back. Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
No, it's fine. You put Tamarisk in the middle for safety, and then proceed down a winding path. So some immediate things become fairly obvious visually for all of you. This is a path that is reasonably well traveled. You can tell that there are movement marks here on the ground. Scraping has worn away some of the cave floor. And there does appear to be a reasonable amount of airflow here. You don't know why yet, but there is definitely, your suit, Sergeant, would pick up that there's airflow coming in towards the faceplate.
You know, I'm starting to think that maybe these caves are more part of a larger network. If my guess is right, and these things used to be submerged, there's a really good chance that these kind of tunnels would have created, like the kind of like a hollow mass of like an ant colony, kind of, but for fish or whatever the hell is in here now.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yeah,
Okay.
quietly, but yeah, I'm saying it.
I hear him over the comms.
As we're moving
he's-
forward.
Yeah, comms are open. So yeah, I would agree with you, Sergeant, on your assessment. So we don't find anything bigger than those lizards in here.
Well, if it is, it's not getting out through the hole we just came in. But this also isn't the only hole.
There are, in fact, many holes.
Right.
So continuing deeper in, you come to a a wider space. The cave opens up, and the shape of this room is a little off-putting. And it's not because of anything that you would expect visually. It is because there's things here that you don't expect to locate. One of them is what looks to be a framework of a shelter.
Well, we have construction. This looks made.
Like
What
that,
is it made out of?
some type of metal.
Oh,
It's
like actual metal, like a
it's-
structure, a metal structure.
it's machined.
Oh,
Like there's floor framing. It looks like there's a couple beams that are still up. They're probably no stronger than, say, a really sturdy or, say, military camp set. But this is the basis of someone's camp. At least it was. It looks certainly disused, but
eyes up, weapons ready.
It's like it hasn't been used in a bit.
And there's not somebody still here.
Let me take a closer look at see if we can find anything.
Is it
Yeah.
enclosed?
it is not anymore. Looks like it was. Looks like at one point there was like a temperature barrier that was put up, but that has been either shredded or.
Yeah, I was going to say, does it look like this has fallen into disrepair, or does it look like something destroyed it?
I think that's probably more of an intellect-based sort of survival role to get a
Sure.
good read on that. You don't see any obvious like weapon holes
It's a
or
3.
okay. Yeah, you're not sure. It's really hard to say.
Okay.
It definitely, the weather probably took some toll on this thing, but things are pretty shredded in here, so it's hard to say.
If I can't get a feed out to Recom, like if we're cut off from the ship at this point, I'm going to keep reporting. But
Mhm.
Are we checking it out? Is that the plan?
Well, it would be helpful to learn anything we can about whoever was here.
All right. I guess I'll clear the building. This is something I know how to do.
Yeah, so there aren't really any internal walls save for 2 or 3, and they're really more
Okay.
framework than anything. You find some very interesting things. One, you find what looks like a camp setup, like an actual place where someone would cook food. It is rudimentary, but serviceable.
Does it look terrestrial? Does it look like something a person would build?
It does look terrestrial, and it does look like something a person, a humanoid would build.
Captain, I mean, not to. I think something with thumbs built this.
Yeah, thanks, Sergeant. I'd already figured that out too. But I appreciate the confirmation. So any tools, papers, books, tablets sitting around?
No, you do find an awful lot of scratch marks.
I forget. Storyteller.
Mhm.
Do the builders have clawed hands?
They do not.
Okay.
The builders have what you would consider are roughly humanoid hands, if not sort of like pudgy fingers. Also, this structure is not likely large enough to hold many builders because the portal builders
They're built.
they're very big.
Yeah.
Yes, they're what you would consider giants. They're probably between 9 and 12 feet tall.
Knows, Captain, maybe your mother passed through here.
Is there a bed?
I didn't even think of that.
So, Sergeant, there is what you would consider a place of rest. There's like a very simple off the cave floor set of like a frame. And it looks like at one point it had probably some type of all temperature sleeping bag on it or something to the effect. Like this looks like a survivalist's setup.
Well, Captain, not to point out the obvious again, but they were about this big, and I pointed to the bed.
Yeah, I must not be getting enough sleep. I didn't even think about my mother, Tamaris. Thank you for bringing that possibility up. I just so focused on getting a resettlement done in that time period and getting the general out of my hair.
Your mother?
What?
What?
My mother?
Yeah.
I thought we talked about that. Oh, we didn't.
We
The-
talked about your mother?
Story
Captain?
time.
We
yeah,
haven't gotten
my
to that stage in our relationship yet.
no, my mother and father disappeared from the third horizon when I don't know, it's been about 10, 11 years now, and maybe longer. Time just feels like it flows differently. And we saw a video of her when we were on the station. Not the portal station. The station from the Oni. And so she made it here. I don't know where my father is, but she made it here. So this Tamers could be right. This could be her campsite.
Does it look like whoever left here abandoned this place? Like, is there still stuff around that looks like they left it behind, or does it look like they packed up and left?
It looks like they packed maybe in a hurry.
Okay. Is there any hint of what they would have been eating? Like, what were they sustaining themselves on? Can I find any indications of like what they would have had here?
I'm going to say that there's probably a long series and collection of thin bones.
So like whatever the fish maybe, whatever the sea life might have been, like those kind of, or maybe the bird things.
Maybe.
Are they hollow?
No, they're not. I would say that the bones are they remind you of snake bones, but they're larger.
Well, they're eating something pretty flexible.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I was kind of wondering whoever was living here or staying here, where they went. Any footprints or anything? I mean, probably long gone, but is there any footprints or anything that we can see into the?
Yeah, I would say that if there were footprints, they're long gone.
Any, see any blood or anything on the walls?
No.
Oh.
No, what you see on the walls are scratches.
Like tick marks?
Mm-hmm.
How many are there?
If you stay and count, there are roughly 274.
Now, whoever was here a long time. But they either died before they could make any more tick marks, or they moved on.
Well, it looks like they took off, maybe in a hurry, but I don't think that their departure was necessarily unintentional.
Yeah, let's.
We would have been some personal belongings left behind.
Right. Let's keep. Does the cave go further back?
It sure does.
Yeah, let's keep looking.
Copy that.
The cave does have a singular hallway carve out. This looks like someone purposely did this. This is not a natural formation. Someone chipped into this with a tool and broke through, it looks like, to another space deeper within the cave that connects it to a larger area. This larger area is extensive. It goes left and right, and it is, I would say the depth of this space is probably 20 or 30 feet, and it goes beyond your sight lines to the left and to the right. So for you, Sergeant, this is dangerously large because you can't see that far. But in the immediate area, there are a collection of 6, I'll say wooden, because that's the rough color of what look like cages. And within them, there's evidence of their having been used at one point as places which creatures were kept. There's nesting material, detritus, etc. Beyond that space, there are slats that have been put up horizontally on the ground, and you can see that there is a line of water that's small but yet moves through the middle of this trough, as if to give the creatures that were in it the ability to have some place to get fresh water.
So whoever was here might have kept these creatures here as food.
I would think so. My mother wasn't a scientist. She was a archaeologist. So if she needed food, this makes sense. But I don't know.
Does the water channel appear to be something that occurs naturally, or does it look like maybe someone poked a hole somewhere and is like irrigating this area?
Yeah, definitely the latter, Sergeant. This is made.
So this is like an aqueduct almost.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if we follow the channel, that also means they went up this way. So I guess we can keep going, follow the water to its source.
You start following the water. Following the water takes about, I don't know, I'd say probably 40 or 50 feet before it butts up against a part of the wall, the far wall. And this is where a majority of the what looks like work was done to shape this. So you see a hole likely done by perhaps a pick to make a spout. And this is where the flow of the water is coming from.
It's pretty clever.
It's definitely something that you can tell that whomever did this knew what they were doing. And they somehow sustained themselves like this. There's also a cup there, like right next to it.
Well, it makes perfect sense, right? Like if you know that there are potentially predatory creatures topside, you would want to acquire as much food as possible, run home with it, and then keep as much here safe as you could until you had to go out again.
I want to take a sample of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Taking samples of things. This is the closest we've gotten to water, so.
Yep.
What's temperature of the water?
I would say it's cool. The planet itself isn't very warm.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say the water's probably about, it's probably in the high 40s, low 50s as far as temperature.
Is it clear, cloudy?
It's fairly clear. Yep.
Have we haven't taken our suits off yet. Have we done enough atmospheric analysis to determine whether or not the air here is breathable?
You have not, but you could certainly attempt to do that.
I'll run it.
Okay. I think it's probably a function of your suits. So
Mine is space worthy, right? So
right.
Yeah.
Yep. So you get a fairly quick determination. Well, there is oxygen. There is habitable levels of all the necessary portions of it to breathe. There's a little bit more argon in this space than you're used to, but it is still within acceptable breathing levels.
Yeah, I don't think whoever was here was suited up. Not for this long.
Well, let's keep our helmets on just in case. You never know what might have happened to this person.
Speaking of this person, they would have had to have also a waste repository of some kind. So where's the poop chute?
If you look around, which I assume is the plan, you go further downstream, and then you cross the stream and you find what is in effect a hole that sits level with the space here. It looks like it's been sort of concaved out. And while it's not pretty, it is certainly serviceable. There are flat stones that have been raised around it and sort of built up probably a couple of feet. It's a makeshift toilet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it works.
But like a person could sit in this thing.
Yes, certainly.
Okay. Confirmation. Resident was shitting.
So
want to get a sample of that.
No, thank you.
I am going to offer our captain 2 points of experience because I would like to intrude on this scene here in Ye Royal Privy.
I'll give one. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You are free, of course, in the cipher system to give one of those points of experience to someone else within your team as a Golgothan comes out of the hole.
A what?
It's a joke.
Shit demon.
Right.
Oh.
So up through the hole that is here at this makeshift toilet, there is a surge of sound, and a large and long tubular shape comes out of it. It looks very much like one of the creatures that you saw previously, although it looks, we'll say, a little coppery. And its mouth sort of snaps out at all of you. And we're going to have some speed rolls for initiative.
Yeah, I'll give
Yay.
look
My
at my
favorite
XP to
thing.
Ducky.
Okay.
So
Hey.
he looked in the shitter.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that could be your mom shitter.
Shitter's full.
Could be. Not anymore. So yeah, speed rolls if you would, and then let me know what you get.
16.
More. I don't do well on speed tests.
It's okay.
I'm going to use Danger Sense. Cost me 1 speed
Mm-hmm.
to lower my initiative. And I got a 9.
Okay. Cool. So Ducky will go before this creature. I'm not going to give it a name just yet.
I mean, so something flies out of the toilet and tries to bite me.
Yes.
So I'm going to do what any sane person would do in this situation, considering I was like kind of looking over. I'm not going to shoot it, but I am going to punch it right in its mouth, because it's reaching. I'm going to reach for it.
Okay.
I'm not using the power fist though. I'm just using my suit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do have no need for weapons. So when I make an unarmed attack, it counts as a medium weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna jaw jack the poop snake.
You are going to plunge this toilet. Very good. So I'm going to have you
say, whoa.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead and make me a roll.
This is where I can spend things, right? This is where I can do things.
This is certainly where you can do things to make the difficulty easier. I am going to, because it's the first time encountering the creature, I'm going to reserve the right to not give you the difficulty of
okay, that's cool.
This creature.
It's the dangerous poop snake. I will use my might edge for bash. Well, is it considered? Yeah, I'll use bash. So I'll use 1 might point for bash.
Mm-hmm.
So my attack will inflict 1 less point of damage, but will daze my target for 1 round, during which all tasks it performs are hindered.
Okay.
And then I will use my other edge and then spend 1 might point for hey, no, I can't do that.
No.
So I'll just do bash.
Yeah.
And then I think that's it.
Go for it.
17. Yeah, 17.
Okay. You connect. It's a medium. It's considered a medium weapon, yes?
Yes, but I also do with an armed attacks. I have prowess, so that's +1, and then strength power should give me +3, so it's +4 to the smack. But it's -1.
Right.
Yeah.
So you punch it. A couple things happen. You punch it, and when you do, you immediately wish you hadn't.
Okay.
Because punching it, it just sort of absorbs the blow
Mhm.
with its body. Its body sort of shifts, and it takes your arm inside of it. Like it sort of just takes.
Gross.
It's soft and sort of squishy, and so there's this just disgusting feeling and sound as whatever this thing is absorbs a little bit of you, probably way more than you want. And
Mhm.
pulling your hand out is difficult, but you're able to do it.
Gross.
So normally that action would absolutely daze a creature. But this creature seems to react without concern or issue. And what it is going to do is it's going to ask and force everyone to make a intellect defense roll.
Yay, my favorite thing. That's a 3. I need to switch out my dice today.
Got an 18.
Okay.
7.
So, Captain, you are the only one right now that has passed this. So we'll keep that in mind for the sergeant and for Tamarisk. You are assaulted by a mental imagery that you get, which is how this creature digests things that it eats. And you are assaulted by the imagery of what is down below this hole. And you see essentially a vat of itself that sort of churns through the living creatures that it eats. And you are forced to imagine yourself being slowly digested. That imagining is going to do 4 points of intellect pool damage to you. And that will make it the captain's action.
I'm going to shoot at it. I don't have time for this. Shoot at you.
Mm.
Get a 10.
Okay. You fire a little wide of the creature. The bullets from, I assume you're using the Vulcan?
Yeah.
Yeah. The bullets that do connect with it in this sort of long spray of automatic ammunition, they seem to sort of get absorbed. It doesn't really have a ton of effect. Sergeant, you know that your first strike did something to it. It just doesn't feel like it was very effective. And so Tamarisk on 4.
I am also going to try shooting it. 'Cause that's what I've got. My light weapon. It's the other Vulcan, the light one.
Yep.
19.
That is great. 19 is a minor effect in combat. And so you will get the benefit therein of the additional damage. So in the Cypher system, when you roll a 19 or a 20 in combat on a 19, you get +3 to your damage.
Fantastic.
Does this thing seem kind of like fluid filled?
Yeah, actually it does.
It gets goopy? Okay.
So the normal damage of that weapon is light. So it's what, 3?
I think it's 3.
Yep. And so on that, very good. Yeah. You get a square series of shots off. And you definitely get the head tilt and acknowledgement from the creature that you did something. Just on your, because of your combat awareness, Sergeant, you can tell that was that struck home, whatever that was.
Okay. But it's not bleeding in any real way.
It does not appear to be, no.
That's okay.
And so we'll just simply return to the top of the round.
So I did respond to shots, but I'm imagining since it's a cohesive whole and it's made out of some sort of fluid, I'm going to make the presumption that it's all kind of one big ball of goop.
Mm-hmm.
So I will engage. I will basically lock my power fist into place, and engage the taser. And I'm going to grab this thing.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm going to try to do damage to it, but I'm trying to tase it specifically. So it's kind of like a grab and choke. I'm going to try to choke the shit snake.
Okay. You do that.
I will spend so my first level effort requires 1 might point, right? Because it's normally 3.
Yeah. So if you've got 2 edge and might, then if you're spending effort, you're only spending 1 might point. The first time, if you want to spend the next one, it's 3 points.
Okay, I will spend 1 for effort. And then yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
So that's a 19.
Okay. So do your damage and then add 3.
So damage on the power fist in stun mode is 6 plus 3, so 9 plus 3 is 12.
Mm-hmm.
So 12. And if
Yeah. So you grab onto it and you finally feel something hard at its center. The rest of it sort of goops around your hand for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you turn the power fist on and you turn it on the stun version of it on. And you watch this disgusting flesh sort of writhe and wriggle around your hand. And when the stun goes on full mode, it crisps and then splatters all over the place.
Whoa!
So you'll all make might defense rolls now.
Oh god.
It's got death throws.
That's hindered one, right?
It is hindered, yes, because of the planet's atmosphere.
13.
Okay.
I use a little effort in my might pool.
Mhm.
I only have to spend 2 because I have an edge in might.
Yep.
And then I already rolled though too. So just an FYI, I got a 19.
It's pretty good.
Got a 2.
Captain, you hide behind Tamarisk.
Oh.
So Tamarisk, you're going to take 4 points of might damage from
Oh no.
splatter.
Oh god.
That creature splatters all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
The head comes off. The body and sort of retained fluids, solid or liquid inside, go all over the place, all over the cave walls, all over the area here, all over you. Sergeant, you get hit too. You just don't, the suit takes whatever it takes.
I wipe off the glass of my helmet. It's kind of schlup. Everybody okay?
Oh.
Where's the captain? Oh. Okay.
I jump out from behind Tamarisk. Yep.
Hey.
I'm here. I'm fine. I take a look at Tamarisk.
Tamarisk, who is down to 3 in their might pool right now.
I
because
can.
of what happened on the station last time.
Yep,
Yeah. Can I do some healing? I'm specialized.
you can. Do you
Okay.
have some sort of first aid kit with you?
Yeah, of course. Totally brought that with me from the ship. Why
Of
wouldn't I?
course,
I'm on a like a strange planet. I packed it in my bag with my vials, which I have not taken any samples of. So,
Interesting.
like, yeah, I know because I keep forgetting
Yeah.
because scientists not.
Hey, go ahead
So-
and give me a roll. What you got there?
I'm like, can I push it? Can I use an XP?
You can certainly use X. You just got one, so go ahead.
I got a 1.
Oh,
So
Please re-roll that.
I did. I am. I'm working it. I'm working it. I got a 15.
perfect. So heals. What's the level of the med kit?
I don't know. I'm
That's
making
okay.
shit up.
Of course you are. This is all make believe, actually.
It's all make believe.
So go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Okay. I got a 4.
Very good. Tamara can take 4 points back. Although your dignity and the clothing, not so much. You're going to have to hope that this stuff comes out because you are effectively covered in whatever this creature was.
That's fun.
I'm just dusting off the interior of the gauntlet, make sure there's not a whole bunch of stuff stuck in there. So
Oh.
I take out like my detailing brush and scrub it clean.
So as the crew cleans up, we are going to take our second break. And so we'll be about 5 minutes or so. So while they clean up and while we get prepared for what comes next, you take care of yourself. Make sure you, deal with all of the necessary biological functions you have and come back for more fun here in the old ways. Welcome back. So having just had we'll just say, explosive colonic experience, the group has an opportunity now to sort of clean up and decide what it wants to do next. There is more to this cave system. It does go further down.
When we had those nightmare visions of this thing digesting, did we happen to see it digest a person?
No, but you got the impression that it had before. Like you got the impression that there's a lot of stuff probably down there.
I'm going, well, yeah. All right. I'm wearing an environmental suit, and at this point I'm covered in goo anyway. I'm going to get my light and shine it down there and see what I can see.
It's actually worse than you could have expected.
Nice.
It is a pool, a vat. I think a vat. Vat is a better word. It's a vat of stuff. Some of it is liquid and some of it is solid. It's not all waste product either. There is definitively bones. You catch things that are sort of shiny, perhaps metallic, that have been placed down here.
How big is the hole?
Oh, the whole width is probably no bigger than, I would say, 10 to maybe 12 inches.
Okay.
Like this thing, when it came out of it, had to distend and extend.
Sure. So it kind of snaked its way through like a pseudopod.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to chuckle to myself, and I think about like, the vintage claw games.
Mhm.
And I'm going to get my cable out, the same tether that I used to attach us to the ship,
Sure.
and I'm going to get myself a little pulley, and I'm going to kind of just smile at the captain and shrug, as I go fishing.
Okay. You're going to go fishing.
Mm-hmm. I'll keep a light on so I can see what's going on. I imagine the hook, the repelling hook that we're using is probably suitable to use as a catch for something as well. So I'll open up the what do you call it? The latch basically.
Okay. And you
And
open
see
it
if
up.
I can snake the drain. There's
Okay.
definitely stuff down there as far as like might learn something about who's been here, I imagine. Maybe the size of their femur, maybe what time it was. Who knows?
You snake this for a little while. You do end up picking up a lot of different types of material. So some of it obviously is waste product. But there are definitive pieces that are down here. Like you find a curved piece of metal, one that has a specific and made fashioned handle. You have to sort of really work at this thing to get it up and get it into the right position so it will come out of the hole.
Mm-hmm.
It's dirty, but I guess it's the basic shape is more like a scimitar.
Okay. It'd be reasonable to assume this thing's magnetized, right? This cable.
I think it's probably reasonable to assume that you can magnetize based on like the shock power and the ability to push energy through it and certain magnetics. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I set some things aside. I have like one side of the toilet I use for and the other side is stuff.
Tamaris and the captain, are you just hanging around, or are you I mean,
No.
he's plumbing the depths of God knows what.
Yeah, I let him do his thing. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to explore the cave further.
Okay.
Same.
You continue to explore the cave. It goes down basically back into the direction of the riverbed that you had first seen. Although it doesn't get all the way there. The cave seems to angle, the ceiling angles down lower and lower and lower until you watch where the water trickles out from. There's a small hole, probably no bigger than, say, a single person could crawl through, that does outlet back into the wilderness. There are no other exits from the cave in this fashion.
Yeah, I kneel down and look into the hole, and I can see out to the other side.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so can I fit in there?
You could if you'd like to.
Okay. I go in there. Gosh, I hope I don't get stuck.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. You push yourself through the hole. It does take a little bit of work, but you manage to get there.
Yeah. Before I come out all the way, I'll take a look on either side to see if there's any, and in front of me to see if there's any predators that might eat me.
You don't see any predators. You don't also see the group of lizards that you first encountered before, so they're not there either.
So it comes out exactly in that place where we were.
No, it comes out near the riverbed where they eventually
okay.
ended up.
Wonder why somebody was this a man-made hole? Do we think?
Looking and judging by it, I'd say that you probably know enough to know that it likely was.
Maybe an escape hole, in case of something.
Possible.
I mean, the front of the cave. Anything around the river? We didn't get a chance to explore the riverbed. I'll call back into the cave. Well, actually, I can do it in comms.
You can.
That call anywhere. Tamarisk, I made it out through the other side. Doesn't seem to be any those lizard people things seem to be gone. I'm gonna check a little bit by the riverbed here.
Careful, Captain.
Go alone. Never travel alone on a strange planet. But here we are. Yeah, so I'll take a look around the riverbed. see if I can. I'm sure there's probably a plethora of footprints and whatnot from like from animals, and so I don't know if I'd be able to tell if anybody with humanoid appendages happen to be in the area.
I think it's probably a perception based roll.
I got a 13.
This looks like mostly creature prints. Although there is something in the mud and the leftover water here that does catch your eye. It's metallic. It's got a definitive shape to it.
Yeah, I'll reach in and grab it out.
You reach in and you grab out what looks like part of a face mask. Lower part of a face mask would come up around the nose, almost like a rebreather. It's got two lights on it near where the edges of someone's face would be. Definitely a humanoid mask.
Does the mask look like something we would have carried in the Third Horizon?
It does have that styling.
Any markings or anything on there, like names?
You'd need some water to wash it off because
Yep.
it's got muck all over it.
I'll rub it in the water.
You rub some dirt on it.
Rub some dirt on it. Yep.
You clean the interior portion of the mask off, and you see the definitive marking of the faction of the Legionnaires. That is Third Horizon technology. And for you, Captain, it's a cipher.
Amazing. My first cipher ever. All right. What is it?
So this is a environmental regulator. I will actually roll a d6 for its level. Because why
Awesome.
not? Okay. So this is a level 5 cipher.
Is it in the red book? I can look it
It
up.
is not, actually.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Mm-hmm. So what the effect of this does is unknown until you investigate it. That is simply time spent.
I'll put it in my handy dandy bag, and I'll take it back to the ship with me so I can take a look at it more. Because right now it's just not an appropriate time.
Mhm.
While I'm here at the water, I will take a mud sample and a water sample in 2 of the vials.
Mhm.
And then I will head back over to the hole where Tamarisk is maybe still waiting on the other side. Maybe they were like, F it,
Maybe.
I'm out.
Yeah, hard to say, right? I'll let them decide what they're doing.
Sergeant, I think maybe it's time we move along.
Sure.
So really the blade is the only thing that is, I would say, serviceable potentially as an item, but the information you glean is astounding. Likely there are multiple different cultures that have visited this planet. You have that pretty firmly now in your mind. This creature must have collected over time samples from different people or different things that visited this planet. There's anything from little pieces of collectible or ornamental stone, the blade, and then a couple pieces of what you assume are metal rods or piping.
Yeah, I put it all in my field kit. Strap it back on, and then head on over to where the captain and Tamarisk ventured off to.
Okay.
I will leave the. I will acquire a sample of organic material because I know it's kind of a big biomass, right? It's all just kind of a glob.
Yeah.
So I will grab some of that as well because I'm curious about something and I can't figure it out here, and I'll probably need Rakam's help to figure it out. But genuinely curious about something, and yeah, I head out to where they went.
Okay. You head back to the ship.
Oh, they're going back to the ship?
I would imagine they are.
Okay.
But I won't speak for the captain.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for you when you come to the cave.
Sure. So about that. So just based on my estimation, I can't tell you right now how many different potential cultures have visited here, but that thing has been eating for a long time and a lot of people and their stuff. But
Well,
whoever was here before us weren't the first visitors here.
yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, with all the different races and technology that could, come from those races and the many galaxies or horizons, that we aren't the first, and the person before us probably wasn't the first.
Was there anything left at the cave?
There was a hole at the end of the cave that looked man-made. I'm guessing it was used for emergency escape in case something came through the front of the cave. I don't know. Should we? I wouldn't mind exploring the other caves based on what we found in the first cave.
It's up to you, Captain, on your orders.
Yeah, let's go to the next cave, the one that allowed for. It was a little bigger. And see what we find. There could be more remnants of previous visitors.
Okay.
Copy.
So staying and doing a little bit more work is going to cost all of you 2 might points. What this really is an expression of, honestly, is the sheer amount of physical exertion under gravity that this takes. Walking is one thing, but walking up hills and into where these other caves are is a little bit more to physically exert yourself. But you do get up into them. You just know internally you're really having to work your body today.
Can I use a recovery roll to take
Certainly.
Okay, take an action for it.
Okay.
All right, I get to recover 6.
Okay.
Let me check my box. Fine, I'll just remember it.
So the cave that is a little bit larger, say 3 or 4 abreast, is it looks like at one point it may have been a home to some of the avians that you saw come in. There's clearly avian bones here. There's actually a pretty wide selection of them at the far edges of this wall. This cave is not very deep either, but associated and along the back row, you can see where there at one point was nests. And in some of these nests, there are deceased birds and their the remnants.
Does it show what might have killed them? Like they just keeled over and died, or?
I mean, unless you're, it would depend. There's something external that looks like it killed them. It would just depend on how much investigative work you were trying to do on them.
Without plants necessarily, what are their nests made out of?
So the nests, interestingly enough, are made out of twigs.
Hey, look at that.
There's plant life around here somewhere.
Maybe we need wings to get to it.
It's probably higher up. We can probably do a survey of the planet, low level, with the Periphery and do some scanning.
Does it seem like they behave like birds? Like they just kind of collect things and make nests out of them?
It does seem like it. Although you don't see a ton of feathers here. Actually, most of what you see is maybe like loose skin.
Like molting.
Yeah.
So they're, I would assume they're more like lizards, like dinosaurs. than
Yeah.
Birds.
Maybe they're closer to bats.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. But they're not hairy.
No.
They're just leathery.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's not unsettling at all. Huh. I mean, this if it looks abandoned, I mean, I'll poke around in a few of the nests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see a few cracked shells of what look to be something that is beetle-like. These would be leftover remnants of that.
Okay.
So anything else? Is the cave? Is it just that in the cave where the birds and the nest are? Is there any opening, like any, let's see, trails, paths?
No, not deeper in, but there is one that you find that goes straight up. There's an opening that's probably about a foot or so wide that is tailored, almost fluted straight up like a chimney.
That's convenient.
Yeah, I would say. I wonder if they use that so they could avoid some of those predators that we saw. All right. Well, this we want to take one of the deceased avian creatures back to the ship for further investigation to see why they might have died suddenly or died. Maybe we move on to is there another cave?
There are other caves.
I don't know how many we want to explore, but it is getting late, I'm sure.
You've been out here for several hours now.
How does the crew look?
They look tired.
Yeah, let's head back to the ship for some R&R.
Certainly use a nap.
Okay.
Tamarisk is not looking like they're feeling very well.
They're also still covered in sort of all sorts of stuff, so
Yeah.
they probably need to change. Although, at least it's dried at this point. So returning to the vessel, you encounter no strange noodle-like lizards. Those holes seem to have gone quiet. You pass near the riverbed, where you can sort of now, by perspective, Captain, see the hole that you came out of, the tiny hole that you came out of over there. And the ship's walkway, gangplank sort of lowers as you get closer to the ship.
Thanks for coming.
Of course. Welcome back.
Yeah. Any excitement around here while we were gone?
Nothing more than the stuff that you stirred up, but unfortunately, everything was quiet. I like an interesting planet.
Oh, I got some interesting stuff for you.
It was interesting.
Once I'm on board and I'm able to take my helmet and stuff off, when I begin the process of kind of disengaging and everything, I will interface with the Periphery and download my footage of our journey once we got into the cave, and basically, like, the investigation of the cabin and kind of the chit chats we were having, and then the sploosh. And then I will time lapse my fishing expedition too.
Oh, look at their face. Tamara, you got to see your face.
No, thank you.
Oh, that looks awful. But you all survived, which is good.
Yeah. Gonna need some sleep. I pulled the vials out of my pack, and I'm gonna take them over to, I think, med bay to get them analyzed. As well as the mask. I'll take the mask to my quarters.
Sure. You take the mask to your quarters. You begin the analyzation. If you make the vials available, then Rakam can assist you with the analyzation of the water.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else we're analyzing in science/med bay?
Well, I brought a thing of soil back too, from near the riverbed, but can let Rakam do his work. I get changed and head up to the bridge.
Okay. I'll just assume that Tamarisk is getting changed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rakam. This is like while I'm in the engine room, kind of getting things ready.
Yes, Sergeant.
Am I allowed any? I guess I could say privacy when it comes to my personal projects here. Is there any discretionary allocation of information?
Yeah, all the crew members have their own, we'll just say folders, where
I'd like to.
personal logs can be kept and information that's excluded. The only caveat being is if there's anything in them that is important for the captain to know that is mission critical or to safety of the crew, then gets elevated.
So I have a hypothesis I'd like to test, and if it's confirmed, then I would definitely assure you that it's probably worth informing the captain. But I wouldn't want to cause any undue concern or alarm. I pulled a sample from a biomass that had accumulated from this sludge slime creature, and I'm just assuming that it's probably parsed with all sorts of different genetic material. But if there's a chance, and I'm sure you have adequate or more than adequate comprehensive records of the captain's genetic code or DNA sequence and anything like that, I would appreciate if you could do a discretionary analysis and see if maybe there's any hereditary relationships between the captain and any of the biomass that I brought back.
Oh.
And simply just let me know if, or let the captain know if there was. And if there isn't, then it'd be a non-concern. We could just keep that question between us.
Sure. I do have the captain's DNA, and so I can certainly perform the test.
Like I say, you don't have to tell me the result, but if you do determine that there was some sort of genetic match there, feel free to inform the captain.
Of course. Of course. I'll be working on the water and soil samples first, but
So sure, this will take a while. There's a bunch of dead shit in there, so we have nothing but time right now, right? So I'll provide that, and then I will work on separating out and cleaning up my armor and all of the stuff that I found and like cataloging it, and kind of I'm going to start making the shop my own and start like filling my little toolboxes with the stuff that I find and like categorizing things. And now that we're exploring, and Ducky is kind of treating this more like he's not on a combat mission. He's not on there's nothing to target and kill. There's nothing to retrieve or recon. This is more of an exploration. And so I think he's going to decompress and start kind of trying making the space his own. And as such, he's going to take like his vintage suitcase and move that into the engine room and start unpacking a bunch of his, I guess you could say, not collectibles, like the things that he has, like his kind of obsession with, vintage culture and other things, and start like putting up little pin boards and postcards and stuff that he has.
You start making engineering a little bit more like home.
Yep.
Okay. So for analysis of the water and the soil, Rakam is an asset in those challenges, but I need to know which one of you is going to take the lead on those intellect-based or sciencey roles.
Maybe me. I pulled him, so
Okay.
it's fine. It's fine. So it's an asset, so he lowers it by 1. I am gonna take a level of effort, and I have an edge in intellect, so I'll only have to take 2 intellect to spend that down even more. And I got an 8 on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'll say that the soil sample shows, at least around here, that this soil isn't necessarily rich enough in nutrients to grow plant life, a stable plant life for food. This would not be an ideal place to try to start a farm.
In this particular area, but that doesn't mean there's not other areas of the planet that might be available.
That's very true.
Right.
You can certainly also test the water, separate role.
Yep. I got an 8 on that too.
Okay. So the good news is that the water is fairly clear of contaminants, chemical or what you would think are naturally created. So you would say that the water could pass through a filtration process and likely be drinkable. Which is a big plus. Because the one thing right now that the nadir lacks is water.
But we can't grow anything.
Correct. At least here you can't.
Okay. I'll read the findings, but I'll ask Rakan, maybe we might need to do a survey of the planet, like a low-level survey of the planet.
We can. I realize that it might be hard to hear, but given the gravity and the difficulty at growing things on a planet that has, frankly, not a lot of water, mathematically speaking, it's not the greatest odds. It doesn't mean that it can't work, but humanity would definitely have to change.
Yeah, especially with the gravity implications. Yeah, I'm not particularly liking this for resettlement myself. I'm going to see what the crew says once they get up here.
Yeah, I mean, the crew uses the rest of the day as they so choose. Tamara, if there's anything specifically that you're doing minus getting changed, let us know, and we
Recovery, hour
Same.
recovery.
can. Yeah, go ahead and roll your recoveries.
Gonna
You
take
can
a nap.
roll a d6 plus 2 for your tier 2 characters and add it to whatever pools you feel necessary. Split it up.
6. Finally. Okay, so I've got 8.
Yeah, 7. No, yeah, 5 plus 2 is 7.
5 plus 2 is 7, in fact.
So I can put those 7 points anywhere.
Yes, you split them up.
Okay. Cool.
At some point in the later afternoon, after a bit of recovery, you'll probably eat, and sort of around the circular galley table that's here in the periphery, Rakam would mention, Captain, that if we're not planning on staying here long term, it might be reasonable to get back into space and leave the gravity of the planet behind.
I agree. We still have to go check out the station and make sure everything is in order for any other jumps. I don't want to jump back through that portal quite yet. I'd like to take a look around and see. Were there any other planets in the area, Tamaris, that you had found?
Is there anything on the map?
In the immediate area, there are 2 moons, and that you do remember, like, just sifting through the map, because you can get back to it fairly easily. Now you pinpointed it. I would say that there is a planet within probably 3 or 4 days journey. It is slightly further, maybe from the sun that's in this system, but it shouldn't be too far outside the habitable zone. It might be right on the edge.
I'll pass that message on to the captain. Worth a shot, maybe?
Well, maybe. What about the moons? Do they hold any life? Or are they just Earth-type moons?
Are they habitable according to my information?
No, not
No.
according to your
Okay.
information.
So, not even worth looking at. They wouldn't be habitable for us.
All right. Well, let's head to this. I don't know. She's having a hard time because, of what they discovered on the planet, that what it could possibly mean.
Mhm.
Let's, I guess, let's take a vote. Do we want to go to the station first and make sure that's in operational order? Or do we want to head to that planet that is 3 or 4 days away?
We should head for the planet, personally, because if we're going back through the portal, we have to come back this way anyway. We can check the station on our way out. It makes more sense to me to keep going forward.
Ducky?
Generally, I would rather not have to make a rapid exit and then have to pause only to find out that we might be delayed. So my vote is probably for the station on the way out. Well, on the way out now, in order to make sure that our return home is going to be viable without any interruptions. So
I'll have to check the station on the way back anyway, because what if something came through while we were out? Then we'd have to check it twice.
I agree with both your plans. We're going to the planet. She flips a coin, like the coin that she had gotten.
Two-Face now all of a sudden?
No, I am not Two-Face.
Just making sure.
I was part of where was I? The Nomad Federation,
Mm-hmm.
I believe. So it's a coin that represents that. And so I flipped that and to the planet.
Okay. You make preparations to go to the planet. It's going to take a few days. You can certainly set the course, and Quinn and or Rakam can make sure the ship stays aligned. The evening or nighttime, quote unquote, activities here are really up to the players. But at some point, Captain, when you are preparing for sleep, you hear the overhead intercom in your room turn on, and you hear Rakam's voice say, "Captain, do you have a moment?"
Sure, Rakam. It's not that I was just about to go sleep, but yeah, do you want to just meet here in my quarters?
He materializes.
I sit up in bed. Yeah, what's going on?
I have served on many ships and under many people, some good, some bad. When you unnecessarily hide things from the crew, you create problems before they arise.
Yeah. What am I hiding?
He sort of tilts his head. You brought back something from that planet made in the Third Horizon. It has a very distinct energy signature. It runs on the same sort of power that the ship does. I can feel its vibration through the sensors in the ship. But you didn't say anything to anyone.
Well, I didn't feel it was important to mention at the moment until I can find out. I don't know why I didn't say anything to anybody. Rakam, honestly. It's not like it's a big deal. I mean, we knew my mom traveled. My mother and father traveled over here, or at least my mother. So, or it could belong to somebody else in the Third Horizon. It could belong to our favorite people, Well, it says Legionnaires on it, but it could belong to our favorite people that we don't want to run into.
The Order of the Pariah.
Mm-hmm.
You could. I just know that Tamarisk makes the best decisions when they have all of the facts that are in front of them. That the sergeant, as someone who is highly both technical and tactical, wants as much information as they possibly can have when they make decisions. And just as you, in any sort of decision making as a captain, would want all the information you can, I feel like you're being unnecessarily covert. But it is your choice. That's something that you will have to bear in mind.
You're right. We all make choices, just like you do.
The sergeant brought back some things from the planet, and I thought you should know that in some of the waste material, there are certain parts of it which biologically have markers that are close to your own. It is probable that your mother or father may have stopped on this planet. It would make sense given the fact that the nearness of the portal, the signaling station, the ship that they were on was certainly a Third Horizon ship. So we are following somewhere in their footsteps.
I agree, but at some point, when I get up and take the mask off, I didn't hide it. It's just sitting on my dresser or my vanity or whatever. They encountered something, and who knows what happened afterwards. Let's scan this mask for biological signatures as well. I'd like to know if we're dealing with, if somebody had borrowed a Legionnaire mask, if it was one of my parents or another person, or yeah, gosh forbid it's the Order of the Pariah. Things I don't want to deal with. And yes, I'll talk to the crew about the mask. It was more of I don't even know what it was. I wasn't trying to be malicious in any case.
I'm not here to play advocate. I'm simply explaining what I have seen and seen fail in the past. Military ships are filled with people who keep secrets from one another. They use the argument of chain of command and need to know. And unfortunately, many of the crew don't have the proper information to make the right decisions when it comes time. And that creates a unbalancing effect for many military vessels. Some certainly can work with the proverbial iron glove treatment, but it does not feel like the way this ship is programmed to run. You don't
we're
feel like
team.
that way.
No, we're a team. You're right, and I appreciate your advice and feedback. You are an integral part of this team. And actually, you should have probably had a vote in whether we were going to the planet or to the station. And I'm sorry that I didn't give you that.
No, don't. I'm not a carbon-based life form. If everyone here, if everyone here passes, while it will be unfortunate, I will exist and continue to.
Yep. That would be unfortunate.
It would be.
That would be a lonely existence. I don't have any plans on passing anytime soon. So let's go to this planet. Let's see what we find. I'll talk to the crew about the mask tomorrow. I will not say anything to Sergeant Ducky about what you've told me. I will allow him to come to me with that information, but I appreciate you sharing it. I think my assumption is that he was trying not to, maybe get me feeling hopeful, or two, if there were other things found in that waste that could be like biological, like bones or whatnot from somebody that might be related. He was probably trying to avoid me feeling upset until we had more information. So both lines of thought are I don't want to know if I want to say appropriate, but they're human.
Well, I think the sergeant seems capable enough to explain what he meant. But I think it is a concern knowing that the captain of your vessel was looking for their parents. And the concern would be finding material based on that they might have been there. And
Yeah,
I think he's just looking out for you.
that's fine. All right. And that's as captain, that is my job as well.
Very well.
Can I go back to sleep now? Or go to sleep?
This time,
Okay. Are we on our way to the next planet? Planet, whatever we're calling it.
we have
X.
we have been on our way
Okay.
for several hours now.
Oh. Yes. I was too busy reading a book on the bridge. Time passes quickly or slowly. I don't. Anyways. All right, Rakam. You have a good night. We'll talk in the morning.
Of course, he dematerializes.
Umpire shakes her head. Lays back down.
You lay back down. Sergeant, you get a visit from a purple ghost.
Is it appropriate to say at this point I would have unpacked my music?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm playing music in the engine room quietly. While I am writing basically in my journal the incidents involving our arrival and departure to the planet that the captain had designated as 2821096 or Planet Alpha, and the goop. Basically the goopening.
Do we have to bring up the goopening?
Yeah. What's up? Oh, I turned the music down.
I did get a positive ID on the material that you left. There is some genetic match between the captain and some of the material that was left there. I've informed the captain of this,
okay,
so that she's aware of it.
So the only question I have about that, did you find it in the waste or in other biomass?
I did not find it in other biomass. It was in the waste.
Okay, it's promising. I appreciate it.
I think that you'll find this next planet based on what I can see and what the readouts are. He sort of shoots it over to one of the engineering screens. It's going to be a little different.
How so?
It's large. It's humid. It's jungle most of its space. It's high vegetation, high water, and it's a little lighter than your standard ship gravity.
It also means lots of flora means lots of fauna. Lots of fauna means lots of predators.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
slow moving though.
I know there had been some concerns about its distance from the sun. Did we run calculations based on its outer orbit, like the outer perimeter of its potential orbit to the sun, or its relative location?
Relative location.
All right.
So there are some concerns. It's on a very, very slow rotation though. It's exceedingly slow. Almost.
We're gonna a few daytime, nighttime, and weather simulations while we're moving.
Yeah.
Seasons. I want to understand seasons.
So running those simulations, it appears that the days here are exceedingly long. And this is simply based on the speed of the rotation of the planet and like how long it takes to traverse around the sun in this solar system.
So that means these plants are probably massive.
Your calculations, Sergeant, seem to suggest that a day here might be multiple Earth years.
If you had to hypothesize, and I'm not much of a horticulturist, assuming that the soil is nitrogen rich, how big can we expect these plants to be?
They could be dependent upon how much foundational space and how thick they grow in certain spots. You could be looking at plants hundreds of feet high. Some trees or larger plant life could be even higher.
Lots of daytime predators means wide eyes and big bodies.
Yes. And the planet with this much vegetation and this much life could likely support very, very large predators.
Because they get very, very large animals to eat.
The planet is also twice the standard Earth size.
I hate to ask this, Rakam. I don't know that all of the ordnance that I was able to bring on board is anti-personnel for the most part. If we end up in a situation where we're dealing with any sort of potential wildlife that is, I don't know, siege scale, other than the railgun, what do we even have for personal defense?
There are some point defense guns. These are simplistic but useful. But the railgun, I mean, while we have a limited amount of shots, it has proven to be effective against capital scale ships.
Okay.
I can't imagine that furred or even tougher plated predators would stand up to it, at least not for long.
Sure. They'll likely be on foot. We don't have any vehicles on board.
No, we do not. Although, at one point, there was a discussion about putting in a printing lab, although it was never completed.
I will smile. Well, now you're speaking my language.
We would need the raw materials to make long-term use out of it. But if we could find raw materials and be able to extract what we needed, we could begin printing a whole host of different applications.
Well, if there's trees here, the plastics are potential between oils and perhaps rubber chemical compositions. Let's go ahead and spin up that project again, if you have room.
Yeah, certainly.
I think as an enduring priority, we might want to make sure that we can build what we need when we need it, preferably before we need it.
Sounds like a very intelligent idea.
Well, I'm up if you are.
I never sleep.
Well, good for you because I sleep plugged in. So,
okay. So I'm going to call our episode to a close there. I want to thank you for being with us in this episode of Children of the Periphery. I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to say who they are, who they've been playing, and kind of what they do. As a brief note, if you are in less than 2 weeks going to be at PAX Unplugged in Philly, you will see me potentially there. So if you see me in the crowd, stop, say hello. I make a way better door than a window, so I have no problem saying hi and interacting with all the folks. I look to be seeing some of you there. I'm also going to find us an amazing friend to raid out to. So I'll go back to introduction order and have you all tell us who you are, what you've been up to.
Hi, this is Morgan. I have played Amara Kasra, Captain Amara Kasra, on this episode of Children of the Periphery. Our pronouns again are she, her, and you can find me in a variety of things on the old ways, from RuneQuest, our adventures in Dragon Pass, not Dragon Past, I spent a few years playing Lillian Lane on the Mask Hunter Off the Top. So go ahead and out there. There's tons of episodes of that out there, along with a variety of other things. And I play in a variety of other things like God's Teeth, obviously Children of the Periphery, and you'll find me streaming with Old Ways on one shots here and there. And yeah, so Shadowrun with our good friend Ducky here, who played our game master, and Michael was in there as well. That was a fun one. And Dark Ages Vampire, where I played Genevieve. Anyways, you can find me on the Old Ways Discord. I am a community moderator, and I love doing one shots with our Patreons. And you can find me just chatting on there a lot. So come visit, say hey, you're under Jedi Girl.
Awesome.
Hey y'all, I'm Mav. I play Tamara Scanvari. Our pronouns are they, them. And you can find me on the Old Ways as the head of Mythos Horror. I'm currently running a Trail of Cthulhu campaign called Silver Screams, which is a great deal of fun. I also play in the RuneQuest campaign along with Morgan as Faisal, the Humakti warrior. And I pop up in a bunch of other random one-shots and short-form things like God's Teeth, things like that. And you can also find my scenarios for Call of Cthulhu on DriveThruRPG, including the most recent release, Hot Bro Summer, which I wrote with Evan Perlman. It was a love letter to early aughts reality television. And I am happy to announce that I am going to have a scenario in the upcoming Year of the Goat anthology, which is helmed by Evan Perlman and Heinrich Moore, a collection of scenarios related to Shub and all things Black Goat of the Woods. So my scenario, To Serve in Heaven, which is set in the 1930s Dust Bowl, will be in that. That's going to be released early next year. So I'm very much looking forward to that coming out. You can find me on the Discord as Keeper Mav, and I love hanging out, chatting with people, and talking about horror and all things RPG.
Fabulous.
Oh, that's me. Hi again. I've been Lecco playing Sergeant Montgomery Donald Ducky Sinclair, the mechanical strong legionnaire specialist who fuses flesh and steel. Outside of Cypher, I run Retro Games Boutique, a collector business and channel focused on selling, restoring, and trading authentic retro video games. Kind of a white glove specialist in the collector space. Check me out on Whatnot, where I run shows where basically I fix games and then sometimes they get sold. The link is in the chat. And we most recently have partnered with Keg Laboratories, which is the company that makes a few of my favorite like restoration and cleaning products. And we've also got a partnership in the works of Retro Protection, who makes all of the really cool like plastic cases that can hold your figurines or your boxes or bags or whatever. So stop in, and you don't necessarily have to buy anything, but feel free to hang out. We just kind of chill and fix stuff.
Killer. Well, thanks everybody. We're going to read out to our friends, Dork Tales. Right now, they are doing some donation fundraising for Extra Life, which is a really cool charity that I love to support. And so hopefully you can check them out. And it looks like they're playing Vampire the Masquerade or something perhaps akin to it. I see a City Gangrel anti-tribute, so that definitely screams both Vampire the Masquerade and Sabat. So we will see you in a little bit. And we are off the next normal stream because I'll be at PAX. But after that, we'll pick back up here for more fun. So thanks, everybody.